transfer, finishes in 9th place. For the Hermiston boys, the loss the last time out last Friday against Pasco here in the doghouse makes it so that they are still on the hook for possibly finishing outside of the culminating tournament. Had they beat the Pasco Bulldogs, who won here 57-51, the Hermiston boys would have secured themselves a spot in that top 8. But they've still got stuff to work for, and against a very good, high-scoring Hanford team. We'll tell you a little bit more about the Falcons and their sharpshooter, Hudson Shoup, when we come back on the Swim Motors Tailgate Show. In 2 minutes, you're listening to Bulldog Basketball on AM 1360 KOHU. Back in the doghouse at Hermiston High School, the Bulldog boys basketball team playing host to the visiting Hanford Falcons, led by the dean of the MCC, Paul Marin, his 26th season at Hanford. The Falcons have lost their last 3. Their overall record is 3-5. Away from home's been tough this season. Just 1 win in their 4 games they've played away from the Falcons home gymnasium up in northern Richland. The win was at Pasco in game 2, so they've lost 3 straight on the road. Trying to get right here tonight. They will, as part of getting right, have Hudson Shoup back. The junior guard is their leading scorer. He had 26 in the matchup with Hermiston to open up the season. Shoup is averaging 19.9 points per game in the 5 games that he has played. He has returned to the team after being at a baseball exposure event over in the Seattle area that kept him away for the last week or so. And in that stretch, losses to Walla Walla, Chiawana, and Kennewick, the last 3 games for the Hanford Falcons. Shoup doesn't do it himself, all by himself. Tyson Caulfield is a 6'7" forward, and he's averaging 14.5 points per game. Between the 2 of them, they've got something going, and then Mason Castillo is also a double-digit scorer at almost 11 points per game. Riley Neiswanger just behind at 9.0. So he's right at 9 flat as far as points per game. Neiswanger is also, like Shoup, missed 3 games this season. So it's a Falcon team that has a lot of athleticism. They have the ability to put up points. They have done so a handful of times, 82 points in the win at Pasco. Lost to Kamiakin, but scored 81 points the very next game. This was back at the start of the season. and had 71 points on the game they played against Chiawana on the 26th, but lost that one 83-71. So play with a lot of pace, put up a lot of shots, hit a lot of shots. The other side of the coin is they do allow a lot of opportunities. We'll see if Hermiston's offense is ready to take advantage of those types of opportunities. We'll tell you a little bit more about where the Bulldogs are at as they come into tonight's matchup with the Hanford Falcons as we continue on the Sway Motors Tailgate Show. When we come back, 2 more minutes from now here on AM 1360 KOHU. Here at Hermiston High School, Eric Olson with you on AM 1360 KOHU. As the Bulldog boys basketball team gets set to host the Hanford Falcons. Hanford 3-5, Hermiston just 1-7. Drew Pruniger's team has lost their last 4. And probably the one that stings the most is the last time out here at home to Pasco, 57-51. Pasco was a winless team coming in. Hermiston had leads a handful of times in that game, including a 7-point lead in the last quarter. But Pasco was able to make 11 three-point shots. Hermiston only 4 from outside of the arc, had some opportunities against the Pasco zone, but also at times struggled turning the ball over against that Pasco zone that was trapping in the corners. Something that, when you hear from Drew Pruniger in a little bit, he will admit is something that they will probably continue to struggle with, is operating against the zone, especially with the focal point the last week and a half or so being better defensively, being more physical, being more aggressive, rebounding the ball better. And that's probably a refrain you've heard over and over again throughout this season, is being a better rebounding team is where things start for this Hermiston program as they continue to try to improve. That's the other side of the coin. This is the second half of the season for Hermiston. So what have you learned in that first 8 games? What have you learned in that first month that you can employ in improving and getting better and continuing to battle here in the Mid-Columbia Conference? Because, frankly, that loss makes it so that it is still possible to finish ninth, to miss out on the culminating tournament at the end of the year. And when your team as young as this team is, every repetition counts, feels like should be the mantra. Every single chance you get that you can get guys like Grant Olson and Kiki Carrillo more opportunities to get touches, more opportunities to get looks, more opportunities to produce, the better things will be. After that game against Pasco, and we'd signed off, Sonny and I were talking about, how well things looked for, like, freshman Grant Olson. And he did play well. He had 13 points. That was a team high. He had 9 rebounds. He only turned the ball over 2 times. And as I thought about it, and I even said this to Coach Pregame tonight, I said, I would prefer that Grant had more turnovers. He is so patient. He is very careful. He doesn't get himself into trouble. He has good court awareness. He has good basketball sense. But when you're a freshman on a team that is struggling and you are probably the best offensive option that the Bulldogs have, a little bit more aggression, some aggressive mistakes that you can learn from. It's tough to learn from mistakes if you don't make any mistakes, and it's that kind of a little bit more naivete that Grant doesn't have because he is such a polished young player. Kiki Carrillo in the same sense. Like, Kiki's averaging 7.5 points per game. He is very patient. He doesn't make a lot of bad passes as he runs the offense for Hermiston, but he could be a little bit more aggressive, maybe a little bit more haphazard almost, so that he, in his sophomore year, can also learn from mistakes. Like, put some things on film that you can look at and go, oh, okay, I see what happens with the defense here. When I drive baseline and end up under the basket, here's where I could attack, or here's where I need to kick. And then the other side of it is Hermiston just in general in that game against Pasco. Pasco hits 11 threes. Hermiston hits 4, but takes a ton of them and just couldn't knock down their good looks on a night where they were the more talented team in the gymnasium. But Pasco was the better team. Pasco had the rebounding advantage. Pasco and Hermiston had a pretty close battle in the turnover category, but in the end, it comes down to Hermiston just couldn't quite figure out how to front run when they got the early lead and couldn't figure out how to finish the game when Pasco was able to make a couple of plays there at the end to seal the deal against the Bulldogs. Coach Pregame and I talked about that. We talked about a lot of things. We recorded some of those things as well, and we will hear from the second-year head coach when we return. It's Bulldog basketball on your home of Bulldog Athletics, AM 1360 KOHU, and our web stream, Mixler.com/1360 KOHU, or find it at GoHermiston.com. The web stream is brought to you by Eastern Oregon Telecom. It is internet at the speed of life. 2 minutes and we're back with the coach's interview here on the Swing Mutters Tailgate Show on AM 1360 KOHU. We're back here at Hermiston High School. Eric Olson and the athletic director Larry Usher with you tonight on 1360 KOHU and GoHermiston.com. We're ready for the national anthem that'll be played by the Hermiston High School Pep Band. Sean McClanahan will direct them. Sean McClanahan directing the Hermiston Pep Band with the national anthem here tonight at the Doghouse as the Bulldogs get set to welcome in the Hanford Falcons here at the end of the Sway Motors tailgate show. Who better to give us a key to the game than the former head coach? So, second half of the season, start with this Hanford team that beat Hermiston the first time out, 77-38. What would you say is a key to the game for you tonight?
You know, our kids are definitely going to have to step up and play a lot more physical than they have been playing, Eric. They, you know, the first time these two teams matched up, I got a chance to watch it online, and you can tell that we got some young kids playing against some seasoned veterans and some grown-up kids, and they got way bigger bodies than our kids do. So we're going to have to step up, play physical, and really try to rebound the ball as best we can.
Led by Hudson Shoup in that game, 28 points was his season high. He has missed the last few games off at an exposure event. He's hoping to play some baseball, if not at the Division I level, maybe to get drafted straight out of Hanford High School in another year from now. Hanford being introduced as we take a look at the 26th year head coach, Paul Mayer. He is going to introduce this starting five. Starts with the big man, the 6'7" senior forward Tyson Caulfield, with the guards, the 5'9" sophomore Mason Castillo, the 6'3" senior guard Riley Neiswanger, the 6-foot junior guard Hudson Shoup, and the 5'9" senior guard Deshaun Samples. Paul Mayer is in his 26th season as the head coach at Hanford. He is assisted by Jeff Gilbert, Cam Wagger, and Bear Breich. The athletic director at Hanford is Josh Jelenek. The principal is Tori Christensen. The superintendent is Dr. Sally Reginger. And the trainer is Matt Gary. The manager for the Hanford Falcons is Kimber Schmidt. The Falcons, 5-3, their record, averaging 61.1 points per game, and they are giving up 64.4 points per game. As the lights drop down, get ready to introduce the starting fives for both teams. Let's take a look at the Hermiston Bulldogs. Your starting lineup is brought to you by Gawler Health. For second-year head coach Drew Pruniger. No changes to the lineup we saw against Pasco. It will be senior guard Garrett Hendon, freshman guard Grant Olson, senior forward Riley Clark, sophomore point guard Kiki Carrillo, and junior guard Jade Ramirez. Drew Pruniger is assisted by the JV coach Taylor Smith, Ricardo Rodriguez, Dylan Caldwell, Scott Pruniger, his father, not here tonight. The athletic director is with us, Larry Usher. He's assisted by Vicky Paola. The principal at Hermiston High School is Tom Spoo. The superintendent is Dr. Tricia Mooney, and the trainer for 20 years is Dan Emery. The Bulldogs are 1-7. They've lost 4 in a row, averaging 41.1 points per game, giving up 73.5 points per game. Tip-off is on the way in 1 minute. We'll take a break here on AM 1360 KOHU. Riley Clark and Tyson Caulfield in the jump circle. Hermiston in the home white uniforms with white numerals and a lettering trimmed in black. All purple uniforms with gold numerals and lettering for Hanford. Hermiston attack left to right. The tip won by Caulfield. And the Falcons will start with the ball. Second half of the MCC schedule. Deshaun Samples, the senior, will run the point guard position. Looking off to his right, gives it that way to Mason Castillo, averaging 10.9 points per game. Down the right baseline, there's Caulfield, kicks it across to Shoup on the near sideline. Right now, Jaden Ramirez has that challenge. Shoup scored 28 at Hanford on opening night. In the lane, a lay-in by Mason Caulfield to open up the scoring for the Hanford Falcons. Half a minute in. Grant Olson at the top of the key coming right, gives to Kiki Carrillo. Back to Olson on the right side. They have Caulfield on Olson. So the biggest guy Hanford's got guarding Hermiston's top scorer. Olson averaging 8.8 points per game. At the top of the key, Riley Clark loses the ball, picked up by Ramirez. He'll drive right side, lays it off the backboard into the hands of Shoup, who will push the pace straight down the middle of the floor for Hanford. Falcons a minute in, looking to add to their 2-0 lead. Caulfield 3 right side over the front, ironed it in. And a 5-0 lead for Hanford. 1 minute into the contest. Carrillo running the point guard position, bringing it up against Hanford at a man-to-man defense. Coming right, Carrillo kick left wing. Hendon for 3. Back iron off. Rebound tipped to the air. Riley Clark secures it. Clark top of the key. The junior coming right. Pulls up right elbow jumper. Very short off the front iron. Rebounded by Hendon. Back to Clark on the right corner. It'll be given back to Hendon. Right side now for Olson. Backs off of Caulfield and gives it up top to Carrillo. Carrillo working well off of the three-point line now. Left side. Olson spins. Stuck by Caulfield. Back out on top to Clark. Clark comes right. Leaves it right side. Hendon and Olson are in the same spot. 5 on the shot clock coming right. Kiki Carrillo to the 10. It'll roll off into the hands of Castillo. 5-0 Hanford, almost 2 minutes in. Nice swanger, left block. He'll put it up and glass and good over the top of Hendon and Olson. 7-0, the lead for Hanford just over 2 minutes into the contest. Jaden Ramirez weaving up top. Olson to the left side for Carrillo. The sophomore guard will drive against Samples and is called for a traveling violation to turn it over. 5:42 here in the first quarter. 7-0 is the scoreline. Hermiston going to come out 2-2-1 defensive look. Throw it all the way across half court. Nice swanger to the right side. Shoup kicks left wing. Castillo tees a three-pointer. Rolls in. Timeout Hermiston.
You know, Eric, I think our kids so far, when they've picked their spots to try to get into the paint and get to the rim, they've done a pretty good job. The last time, obviously, Kiki was a little bit out of control, but the first 2 trips before that, we had an opportunity to get in the paint and get some layups. If we would just take more opportunities and maybe be a little more assertive with the basketball in the half court, it would help us out quite a bit.
So 10-0 is the score line. So I want to bring up the assertiveness because as I was talking to myself in the pregame, I had mentioned to Drew before this as well, before we recorded our interview. So Grant had 13, 9, and just 2 turnovers against Pasco. I want to see the freshman make more mistakes. I want to see him be more aggressive, and if it means there's if he has a triple-double with 10 turnovers, 10 rebounds, and 10 points, so be it, but you can learn from that kind of thing.
Absolutely. And again, I think being aggressive and being assertive is probably essentially we're talking about the same thing. Every time a kid catches the ball on the perimeter is a scoring opportunity for him and the passer. And our kids right now are catching it and not even looking to the rim once in a while, catching it, putting it on the floor, and not trying to be aggressive offensively.
Carrillo, top of the key, hits a three. Caught, looked at the basket, and actually had a shot he wanted to hit and does. And now Olsen forces a turnover, picked it, and then threw right back into Niswanger's hands. Niswanger up to Caulfield, the 6'7" guard, fouled from behind by Hendon. Count the basket. Excuse me, not Hendon, Clark. Riley Clark will give Caulfield a chance for a three-point play the old-fashioned way. 5:01 on the clock in the first quarter.
Big missed opportunity for our kids there with an opportunity to, I think they probably had a 3-on-1 or a 4-on-1 there.
Caulfield missed the foul shot. Hanford is a team 60% from the line. Rebound, though, and Caulfield, right wing, gets the three. It's even worse, to be honest.
A 5-point trip, that's what I talked about before the game, is like 2 or 3 possessions, and now Hanford has really shown that the size difference, the time their kids have spent in the weight room, is really paying off for them.
Carrillo left corner, three ball, nothing but the bottom of the net. Kiki Carrillo, the sophomore's got all Hermiston 6 points, down by 9, 4:30 left in the first quarter. Straight down the middle of the floor for Shoup. He'll come to the left side and is fouled on the way to the 10 by Olsen. It'll be Grant's first and the second team foul on the Bulldogs. The other side of Kiki, I had the same feeling about Kiki as I did about Grant, is that I'd like to see him make some more mistakes just because of aggressiveness. I'm sure it gets to him because everybody's kind of seen, all right, Grant's the best offensive guy, and Kiki was here a year earlier, so, that's got to be on your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And right there what they did those couple of possessions is exactly what you want to do. You don't beat players that play help side, you beat players that recover to the ball. In quick ball reversal, forcing a guy to close out, you're going to get to the rim. If he doesn't close out, you're going to knock down a three, and that's what we had the last couple of possessions.
Shoup hits both foul shots, 17-6 with 4:21 on the clock into the first quarter. On the left side, Hendon, the senior, gives to the top of the key for Carrillo. Back to Hendon, left corner. Shoup closes him out. Up top for Olsen, coming to his right, he'll give to Jaden Ramirez. Ramirez into the lane, spins around, finds some space, rims around it out, and falls into the hands of Castillo for Hanford. He'll move up the middle of the floor at the halfway point of the first quarter. Right side, Shoup a tray. That one rolls out into the hands of Hendon, Olsen knocked out of his hands, and a jumper from the foul line for Caulfield, who's got 10 points. 19-6 with 3:45 of the clock in the first quarter. Olsen coming to his right, handoffs to Ramirez. Clark on the left wing, waiting for somebody to hand off. He'll flip it instead, right side. Olsen into the corner, gives to Hendon. Hendon finds some space to the 10, right-hand lay-in. 19-8, Hermiston slices a little bit into the Hanford lead. Just under 3.5 minutes left in the first quarter. The Bulldogs come with some full court pressure. Caulfield right wing, a three-pointer. Back iron off, offensive rebound. Leave it in the paint for Shoup. He's off the back iron a little too hard. Offensive rebound for Castillo, but he turns it over. Ramirez has the steal. Ramirez puts him on his hip and gets fouled on the way to the rim. Kept the guard, Mason Castillo, on his hip all the way down the court and ends up earning himself 2 foul shots. First for Castillo, first team foul for Hanford. Jaden Ramirez, the junior, has 2 foul shots coming.
Sometimes when things aren't going very well for you offensively, you talk to your kids about trying to produce some baskets with their defense. Of course, that was a situation with a loose ball where, Ramirez did a really good job of hustling after a loose ball and ends up getting 2 foul shots out of the situation. It's a pretty good job.
Senior Darnell Walker and sophomore Andrew Dearman both check into the game for the Falcons. Ramirez, second foul shot on the way. It is good, and he hits them both. Hermiston's within 9. 3:05 left in the first quarter, and their full court pressure continues. Top of the key, Niswanger has it, turns it over. Another swipe for Ramirez. Ramirez to Carrillo down the left lane, and a lefty lay-in. Kiki's got 8. And it's a 19-12 game. Left side, Dearman, the sophomore, goes down to the left block, step through into the lane. His hook shot misses and is rebounded by Hendon. Carrillo brings it straight down the middle of the floor for Hermiston, out into the left wing. Hand off to Hendon, and now swing it around the right side. Up top, Carrillo will back up. 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Bulldogs down by 7. Hendon up top. Clark, a very long three, off iron right, and rebounded. First touch of the game for Darnell Walker. The senior up to shoot, left wing, pull up three in transitions off iron, and Clark's got the rebound. He'll flip it to Krigo for Hermiston down the far sideline. Into the left wing, he'll give to Hendon. And Hendon will throw it through the lane. It's tipped last off of the hands of Niswanger. Didn't know that one was coming his way. Bulldogs will make some changes. Ramirez comes out along with Clark. Ben Wicks and Tyler Lynn both into the game. And for the Falcons, Cole Kramer, the senior, will replace Niswanger. Baseline inbound given into the left corner for Hendon. Up top, Wicks and Lynn both in the same spot. And swing it around into the right corner for Hendon. Back up Olsen to Carrillo. No, Carrillo give to Lynn out on the left side. Under 2 minutes left first quarter. To the lane and a foul on the attack by Hendon. He'll earn himself a trip to the line for 2 shots. Cole Kramer with the foul, his first. And that's 2 on Hanford.
Garrett's doing a great job of being assertive and aggressive like we talked about earlier. And again, I don't know that the Hanford kids really have a whole lot of interest in keeping us in front if we are assertive and aggressive. And kids need to keep taking advantage of those opportunities when they get them.
2 for 3 shot, but a rebound for Wicks offensively, and Hermiston gets a new possession. Up top to Carrillo, coming to his left around a pick from Wicks into the corner for Lynn. Lynn will circle into the paint. Righty floater, falls off the front iron. Back tipped out by Lynn, and Hermiston's got another chance. Hendon on the right side. Carrillo walked into his set on the right side, but no whistle on it. He'll come back up top with 90 seconds left in the first quarter. Bulldogs down 19-13. Lynn to a cutting Olsen. Olsen stuck into the basket, ripped out of his hands on the right block. Up the court by Dearman. Dearman fouled in the left corner by Lynn. It's Tyler's first and the third team foul on Hermiston to give a baseline inbound to Hanford.
Those are one of those situations that I know as a coach that Drew or any other member of the coaching staff can have a conversation with him about, hey, this is what the weight room's going to do for you, Grant. And he works hard in there, so that's going to happen for him.
Inside the lane, missed shot on a turnaround by Kramer, and the ball knocked out of bounds. It is the thing you have to keep reminding yourself about Olsen because he does play so confidently most of the time. He's 14. In the right corner, coming out of that corner, Castillo give it up top. Shoop tries another three. Can't find the range still, and the ball is tipped out of bounds off of Hanford last with a minute left in the first quarter. Bulldogs weathered that opening 15-3 run. In fact, they have scored the last 7. They're down 19-13. Grillo into the left wing for Hendon. Hendon up to Wicks, and around the perimeter they go. Olsen to the right side, hands off to Lynn. To Carrillo, bounces off his hands, he gets it back. Closed out well by Castillo. Lob it to Hendon, down under the basket left block, back out to Wicks. About a 3, short, and bounces out of Castillo's hands. He gets it back for Hanford. 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Hesitation, a drive by Dearman to the left block. He falls hard to the floor and floats it in for his first point of the night. That'll end the run for Hermiston at 7 straight. 21-13, Hanford's advantage. Final 15 seconds in the first quarter. Kiki Carrillo has 8 points for Hermiston. Kick it out to Lynn. Across to Wicks. Wicks coming to his right, to the right block, and he floats it in with a scoop shot. Ben Wicks' first point of the game, and that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. 21-15, Hanford in front. As we go into the quarter break, we'll be back in a minute on AM 1360 KOHU. Bulldogs start with the ball in the second quarter, down 21-15, hosting Hanford. Eric Olson and Larry Usher, the athletic director for the Hermiston School District, with you tonight on AM 1360 KOHU. Bulldogs start with the ball, and a foul as Grant Olson attacks the basket and is hit on the arm. 2 foul shots coming for the Hermiston freshman. After falling behind, it was 10-0, and then it was 15-3 before Hermiston was able to steady the ship. And now Olson has a chance to kill a little fruit here, shooting a pair. First is good.
It was about the 3:42 mark. I looked up and saw that Hanford had already put 19 on the board and knocked down a few threes and thought it was going to be a long, long quarter for us. But our kids did a really good job of settling in defensively and got a few defensive rebounds, a couple of turnovers, and got themselves back into it.
1 of 2 trip for Grant, 21-16. Left side, Dearman on a fadeaway. Rebound put back at the 10 by Kramer for his first point of the night. 23-16, half a minute into the second quarter. Garrett Hendon out to the left wing for Grant Olson. Ben Wicks, Jaden Ramirez, and the 5th on the floor, Tyler Lynn. Olson gives to Ramirez out on the left wing. Ramirez tees up a 3-point shot, airballed it, and it'll carry out of bounds for a Hanford possession. Falcons, Paul Mayer's calling for a line change. Samples comes back onto the floor along with Caulfield, who's their leading scorer with 10 in the first quarter. Niswanger as well, and for the first time tonight, Gannon Mosley, a 6'1 sophomore guard, who splits his time with the JV team. On the Columbia Orthodontics scoreboard as Hermiston gets a steal. Ramirez up to Olson, and he gets a lay-in. First field goal of the game for Olson cuts the Hanford lead down to 5. Anyways, that JV score was Hanford 66-49. Caulfield right block. Wicks deflects it, and it's into the hands of Lynn. Hermiston's got a 4-on-3. Lynn pushes to Olson right side. Olson saw some space, takes it in, missed the shot. Fights for his own rebound and kicks it back out. Ramirez to Lynn up top. Left wing. Wicks finds some space. Hendon finds some space to the 10, and he'll lay it in.
So great possession of the defensive end of being real physical on the glass, and again on the offensive end, being real physical on the glass like we talked about, where we are outsized everywhere, out-physical everywhere. Guys got to be tough around the basketball. They did a great job. 2 possessions gets us right back in it.
Hanford full timeout, 6:21 left in the second quarter. 23-20 is the Hanford lead, but the Bulldogs continue to pull themselves back into this contest. 26 years Paul Mayer's been the head coach. He asked for that grease board right away. Over on the other side, Drew Pruniger. All right, are they talking offense or defense on the grease board right now?
I think Drew's probably talking about their transition defense a little bit, picking up with the 2-2-1 3-quarter court. You know, they spent a lot of possessions in that first quarter. I used to tell boys, hope isn't a very good strategy. We gave up a lot of wide open threes in transition. You can see the look on the kids' faces that I hope they miss. Not a very good strategy defensively, that's for sure. And so I think he's probably talking a little bit about transitioning and how we're rotating in our 2-2-1, making sure that we don't give up numbers on the offensive end.
Either that or, I mean, from my perspective, he's just drawing a Jackson Pollock on that grease board. So 6:21 left in the second quarter. That's why I'm up here. 23-20 is the scoreline. Hanford in front, but the Bulldogs continue to claw their way back in. They've used this zone in the press to be successful. Niswanger works his way into the paint, glassing good with the right hand. His second field goal of the contest. And so the Falcons are back out in front by 5. Hendon on the left wing, hands off to Ramirez. Ramirez gets it back out on top. Hendon on the right wing now to Wicks at the top of the key. Wicks loses the handle, gets it back. He'll drive right side and is fouled. Very much a bull in the china shop once he decides he's going to put his head down and go to the rim.
Yeah, he is. You know, and really, that's what we talked about in the first quarter, that if some guys would pick some spots and be a little more aggressive, I don't think Hanford had any interest in keeping us in front for a while.
Riley Niswanger is the one who couldn't keep Wicks in front there. He is first and the third team foul on Hanford. So the Bulldogs trail 25-20, 5:42 left in the second quarter. Garrett Hendon on the right wing, the senior guard. Gives it to Wicks at the right elbow. Wicks trying to back down Brock Thornton, the senior who came into the game for Hanford, the last chance. Up to Wicks up top, and a foul. Thornton got into the body of Wicks, and he commits Hanford's 4th. I mean, you talked as we went into that last time out. Hanford, everybody in the league's got a size advantage, but not only that, like in Hanford's case, they've got a bench depth advantage. I mean, they've got almost everybody into the contest already.
Yeah, they do, and they've got big, strong athletes everywhere on the floor. I mean, right now, and the tough part is that you look at teams like Richland and Kamayakan and Chiawana, they're not the biggest, strongest team in the conference, but if you just took a snapshot right now of our kids, you would see that our kids are quite a bit younger, quite a bit more physically immature.
Lynn scores on the other end of the floor. Left side, Thornton, a three-pointer from the corner is out, and Lynn, who just hit that shot, brings it up the court. Hermiston trails by 3 to Olsen. Olsen, jump stop it in the lane, floating, and hits the jumper. Grant Olsen, second field goal here in the quarter, and Hermiston is down by 1. Caulfield, who hasn't scored yet since he had that 10-point run at the start of the game, gets fouled onto the way to the hoop. They will keep it on the ground. He didn't get into the act of shooting yet. On what will be Hermiston's 4th foul, and it's Ben Wicks first.
It's a great foul. A lot of undersized teams that I've had before, you want to teach kids, hey, we want to get down low and dig the ball low before a kid gets a chance to go up with it, especially when they're not in the bonus. That was 2 points. He was right at the rim. Great opportunity there to take him away.
Kick ball off of the shoelaces of Grant Olsen will give another baseline inbound to Hanford. Tyler Lynn comes out after a nice stretch. He's replaced by Kiki Carrillo, the Bulldogs' leading scorer with 8 right now. Into Shoup, left wing 3, hits it. He cannot heat up. Had 28 points in the season opener against Hermiston. That bucket makes it 28-24 for Hanford. Wicks has it on the left baseline, bounces it out to Hendon. Swing it around the perimeter and hand off to Jaden Ramirez. Wicks up top. He'll come to his right, down the right lane, and a little scoop shot floats in. Ben Wicks cuts the Hanford lead back down to 2. 2-2-1 pressure up to Caulfield, left block, and Caulfield this time gets the easy lay in. He's got 12. 4 points. Again, the advantage for Hanford. Almost to the halfway point of the second quarter. Grant Olsen is fouled just after he crosses half court. The foul will be the 16th foul on the Falcons. And the sophomore Gannon Mosley picks up that one.
Right now, Coach Pruniger, of course, Hanford just goes into a zone right now. Probably a good move by Coach Mayer, knowing that we're one more foul to the bonus. I'd be telling our kids, attack the rim as often as you can. Let's get to the free throw line.
Well, Olsen got into the paint, and a little head fake got his defender into the air. Tyson Caulfield commits his first foul, and that's the 7th on Hanford, so Olsen earns himself 2 foul shots. Bulldogs are 4 of 6 now from the line as Olsen misses that first. 5 points for Grant, had 13 in the loss to Pasco, leading scorer for Hermiston in that game. Misses both of those foul shots. And a ball knocked out of bounds. Ramirez the pressure, but also it'll stay Hanford's way. Tyler Lynn comes back in, and Grant Olsen gets his first break with 3:52 left in the second quarter. And Hermiston trailing Hanford 30-26. Full court press shown again. This time Hanford breaks it with Shoup out on the right wing. Back out to Mosley, kicks it left side, and at the 10, Niswanger lays it in +1. Niswanger saw Hendon coming over, and Hendon got him on the arm as Niswanger finished. So a chance for a three-point play the old-fashioned way for Niswanger. The senior, with 3 minutes and 41 seconds left in the second quarter, extends the Hanford lead to 33-26, hitting the foul shot. Little run here for Hanford. Bulldogs need to settle, facing a 1-2-2 full court press. Get it to Lynn out on the right wing. So they break the press, and now they'll set up. Carrillo to Ramirez out on the left wing. Ramirez finds some space, drives to the foul line, gives to Lynn. Lynn will come to his left, blocked away by Caulfield, out of bounds. Hermiston keeps the possession. Ben Wicks will be the inbounder. He's got the basket to his left as he looks up. Hermiston with blocks and elbows to start the inbound play. Down by 7. Into Wicks. Wicks lucky to get back into play and establish his possession as he got the ball right back from Carrillo. Carrillo's got it in the left corner. Top to Hendon. 2 on the shot clock. Ramirez, a hoisted shot, they will say came after the shot clock went off. And so a turnover on the Bulldogs with 3:10 left in the second quarter.
Facing that dreaded zone that we saw, kids just get comfortable against man and looking to attack the basket, and Paul Mayer makes a good adjustment and goes into zone and keep the ball out on the perimeter. And
other end, Shoup drives, attacks, gets fouled. He'll go to the line for 3.
And our kids are struggling to get ball movement and find the open gaps in the zone right now.
And it was in the second quarter when Pasco went to their zone that Hermiston really couldn't find the key to unlock it and allowed the Bulldogs of Pasco to take the advantage. 3:01, and Shoup makes the foul shot. Hermiston will get to make a sub. Hendon will come out, and Grant Olson will replace him. 36-26. The Falcons have kind of resteadied their ship and out to a 10-point advantage.
On an 8-0 run here as soon as he went to the 2-3 zone too, Eric.
Steele, bounce pass to Mosley, and he'll get the breakaway lay-in for his first points of the night. Tyler Ling gets it out to Ramirez on the right wing. Ramirez left wide open. He'll try a 3. A little too hard, a little off to the right. Niswanger's got the rebound for Hanford. Straight down the middle of the floor. Niswanger to Shoup. Right wing. 3-ball. Front iron off. And Mosley rips the ball away from Olson. Saved in by Wicks to Olson up to Lynn. Down the left side for Hermiston. Back to Carrillo. Carrillo slows up on the left wing. Guarded by Castillo. Give to Wicks up top. Kick it out to the right side. Olson left open. He'll step into a 15-footer swish. And a timeout for Hermiston. Full timeout with 2:11 left in the second quarter. Hermiston down by 10, 38-28. We'll take the break as well. Back in a minute on AM 1360 KOHU. Two minutes, 11 seconds left in the first half. 38-28, Hanford's advantage. To the left side, Tin. Niswanger misses the lay-in, and Olson's got the rebound. Grant Olson, Kiki Carrillo, Tyler Lynn, Ben Wicks, and Jaden Ramirez, the 5 on the floor for Hermiston as they claw their way back at a foul. Gannon Mosley kind of took the space away from Lynn, so he's called for the foul. That's the 8th, and Tyler will get to go to the foul line for a 1-and-1 opportunity. Taking stock, Hermiston doesn't have any fouls left to give either. They'll be in the bonus on the next one. That's the 8th team foul on Hanford. Lynn off on the shot, and the ball poked into the air and then poked out of bounds. Hanford did touch it last, so the Bulldogs end up with a baseline inbound out of the deal. Olson will be the inbounder. Baskets to the right. Blocks and elbows again. Caulfield guarding the inbounder. Hanford back in man right now. Right side for Olson in the corner. He'll get it back out. Hanford has had Caulfield. They've had Niswanger. They have had their biggest guys on Olson. Drive left side, and Jaden Ramirez lays it in for his first field goal of the contest. 38-30, a high-scoring quarter. Castillo throws it into traffic, and Lynn steals it, but then loses out of bounds. He slaps the end wall. Slap the padded part, and use an open hand. Don't use a fist. A lesson learned many times over.
I've seen that a few times. Way to end a season.
Minute 25 left in the second. Hermiston down by 8. Castillo has it on the right wing. He'll give it up top to Samples, who's back into the contest. Nice swanger to Shoop, fading to his left, and he hits a three-pointer in the left corner. Shoop's got 11 now. He leads all scorers with that bucket. Caulfield's got 12. 41-30. Minute and 3 seconds left. Answer back three for Tyler Lynn in the left corner. Tyler Lynn's got 5. Hermiston down by 8. Full court pressure continues. Shoop left wing, same spot, another 3. This one rims out, and Lynn's got the board for the Bulldogs. He'll find Kiki Carrillo up the court down the left wing for Hermiston. Top of the key for Lynn. Lynn drives left against Castillo, take it all the way and gets fouled. Castillo, the international sign for I didn't do it, kept his hands up straight over his head, but called for the blocking foul with the hip. His second. 9 team fouls on Hermiston. It gives Lynn a chance to go to the line for 2 foul shots.
Eric, I know Coach Mayer pretty well for years and years, and I know right now it's just eating him up that his kids can't defend in man-to-man. Our kids are doing a great job of being aggressive. As soon as he gets out of that zone, we get 2 or 3 trips to the rim. We get out in transition, knock down a 3. Now we get another trip to the rim. We get 2 free throws out of it. I know it's just eating him up that he's going to have to go back to his zone.
2 for 2 trip for Tyler. He's got 7 points all in the quarter. And Hermiston's down 41-35. Ramirez, offensive foul as Shoop got the ball knocked out of his hands, and then he ran over Ramirez. Shoop pleading his case, but all for naught. They will say it was player control. I guess an argument could be made that possession had been lost, but nobody but me will make that argument right now. So I'll just sit here quietly.
I think the other argument would be made that we didn't gain possession either. So
fair.
So might be a better situation for us to have the ball here if we can finish off the quarter well.
Shot clock and game clock have like a half-second difference. 15 seconds left in the first half. Hermiston down 41-35. Ramirez out on the left wing. Hanford back in that zone. In the left corner, a drive and a pull-up floater. Rebound put back. Olsen got his own miss and put it in. Hermiston down 41-37 as the quarter ends. And the Bulldogs with a little momentum as they go into the locker room here at the halftime break. Second half of the MCC season starting tonight with Hermiston hosting the Hanford Falcons, and the Bulldogs are fighting with Hanford as we will continue our coverage here tonight from Hermiston High School. We'll be back in 2 minutes on AM 1360 KOHU. Halftime at Hermiston High School as the Bulldog boys basketball team hosts the Hanford Falcons. On the Columbia Orthodontics scoreboard, it is 41-37 Hanford here, and up at Hanford High School, I think they call it the bird nest or something like that for the Falcons. Halftime, it is the Hanford girls in front, 27-26 over the Bulldog girls team. Of the utmost importance for Mallory Moss's team at 4-4, needing that one at Hanford to split the season series with them. It's kind of playoff time for the girls right now.
It is. This is the second half of the season, and you really want to see the girls make a push, make a run, and I think our girls, and I know Coach Moss feels like they let one get away from them here at our place against Hanford the first time, and give up a lot of penetration in that game, and I think she had a game plan to stop it. It sounds like 27-26 in the first half of a ball game. It sounds like some teams are playing some good defense up there, and so I know that she really wants to do that and also have a good showing against Kabayakan and Richland the second time around, much better than the first time, so that our girls can really finish our season on a positive note.
Still a chance to get into the top 4 and get a chance to play in kind of the championship bracket of the culminating tournament. For the Hermiston boys, 1-7, but there is still a chance to get into that final 8. You just don't want to finish 9th and then your season ends prematurely. So this, if they could continue the run, I mean, we were talking about it. So what did you say? It was like 3:30 or something like that. We were down 15-3 in that first quarter. And since then, it has been a run for Hermiston. They've outscored Hanford 35-21 since that point in time.
Right.
So, Bulldogs definitely finished the half well, finished the quarter well.
They did. It was just what we talked about the midway point of that first quarter when they were behind. You and I talked about, hey, we've got to be more assertive. We've got to be more aggressive. We got to look for opportunities to get paint touches, to drive into the paint and get to the rim. And when those opportunities came about, our kids did a good job of taking advantage of it. Probably had one or two ill-advised drives. Kiki Carrillo had one in the first quarter, but other than that, guys did a good job of getting into the paint, putting pressure on the defense. It's one thing you talk to teams about defensively is the worst thing you can do defensively is give up penetration. You might as well stand a guy at half court and play 5-on-4 because that's what you're doing in a half court. You give up penetration, you put too much pressure on your teammates, you put too much pressure on your defense, and when we're able to get into the paint with the size that we have, with the athleticism we have, that is what we need to do in order to be successful in this program, and the kids did a great job of that for about 3/4 of that first half.
As I sit here and I listen to your halftime locker room speech, I wonder to myself, it's been a while, what do you miss most about the coaching part?
If I hadn't gotten into coaching the young kids for several years, I would have missed the competitiveness of it. But to be honest with you, I miss the teaching part. I do. But don't get me wrong, I get a fix now and then. I mean, I come into the gym on most Tuesdays and Thursday mornings. I come in with the Heidemann girls come in, Grant Olson comes in. We get up, 600, 700, 800 shots. We work on, a couple of new moves to the rim that, we may have not done before. Yesterday morning we worked on a good transition hesitation move, and so now I miss the teaching part of it, but I do get an opportunity to do that occasionally.
You don't miss the gamesmanship with the officials?
Hey, I still get that in the locker room at halftime.
That's fair. Yeah, when you sit in for Sonny, you have to slip down right at the start of half to let those guys in. All right, there's no way for me to weave it into the course of a game because there's a game going on right now, and it's not a blowout. Drew Pruniger told the boys last night he is also leaving just like Mallory Moss after 2 years, so you've got a couple of basketball openings here. What are you looking for? This is the most important sport to you. This is your love. What are you looking for these two programs? Well,
yeah, we've got both boys and girls basketball and volleyball and fast pitch softball as well. And and it is my love, but I got to keep in mind that volleyball is just as important to our volleyball coaches as football is to Coach Fatete. And but what we're looking for in all those positions is we need some longevity. First of all, we need to get some more consistency back into our programs. But more so, we need someone that's going to come in with a lot of positive energy that understands that consistency in our program year after year after year is what's going to get us back to the top and make us successful. We've got to have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 classes in a row that have 4 or 5 good basketball players in them, right? And if you don't spend a lot of time in the gym, when I say a basketball player, you don't understand maybe what I mean by that. And what I mean is that the kid, is probably a great wide receiver in football. He's probably a really good shortstop and has a good bat in baseball. But basketball is what he plays, and it doesn't mean that every kid has to do that. But you got to have 4 or 5 of those kids that live in the gym and live and die to come out and compete in basketball. And that's not going to happen right away. Some people think there's a magic pill you take that's going to make it happen. It's not. What's got to happen is somebody's got to come in and really start working, not only with our freshmen and sophomores, but with the 7th graders and the 8th graders and the 6th graders, getting them to understand a system that consistently relies upon hard work, that relies upon accountability, that relies upon commitment. Those are some things that we got to get back right now, and we're not going to get them until we can really get some consistency in our coaching staff.
It's Hermiston hosting Paul Mayer, the 26th year head coach at Hanford, and you see that in the MCC as there's these guys who've been there for a long, long time. And, this Drew leaving was a bit of a surprise, and he's off to cool things and some excitement there, but at the same time, it's tough for the Bulldog program because now you got to replace somebody who had that positive energy, who's trying to work towards these things you talk about.
Right. It is going to be tough to replace. Anytime we have to replace a head coach, it is tough to do. And unfortunately, Hermiston's not a destination, and people. I love it here. You love our community, and everybody listening at home loves the community that we live in. But people always say, hey, how come we don't get dozens of applicants from all over the place? Well, a lot of people, especially if they're a teacher, they don't give up their $70,000 a year job for a $7,000 a year job. It's not just that easy to do, and sometimes there's some instability in education, and it's not easy just to pack up your family, and drag your kids around everywhere for a coaching job. And so, those schools that do have some people that have been in there for years, like almost every school in the MCC, they really benefit from that in their programs, and it shows.
Yeah, I'm like 3 weeks away from 14 years here, but if I'm going to be honest, when I came here right out of the University of Oregon, this was supposed to be for like 12 to 18 months in my first job, and here we are in the 50th year.
I was 3 years, Eric.
I
was here for 3 years is what I was doing. I was on the 3-year plan like everybody else in Hermiston that works in education. We were all on the 3-year plan, and none of us leave.
41-37, halftime comes to a conclusion, and the Hanford Falcons will start with the ball. So Hermiston down by 4, starting the second half. They're starting 5 back out there, and they get a rebound off of a miss by Mason Castillo. Garrett Hendon, Grant Olson, Riley Clark, Kiki Carrillo, and Jaden Ramirez here in the second half. We didn't even get to the Columbia Orthodox scoreboard, the relative upset yesterday at Walla Walla, where Kamaikan lost for the first time. Olson attacks and misses, and so it's still a 4-point lead, but Hanford throws the ball to the tennis courts, and Hermiston will have a possession on the turnover.
Looks like Coach Pruniger gives Ben Wicks a start in the second half over Riley Clark.
Wicks over Clark. Caulfield, Castillo, Nightswanger, Shoup, and Samples for Hanford. They're 5 back out there. Carrillo circles into the paint, comes around the left lane, back iron off, and Caulfield's got the rebound. He's got 12. Shoup's got 11, the leading scorers. Stripped out of Shoup's hands and straight down the middle of the floor for Wicks. Wicks will take it right side and is foul. Blocking foul will send Wicks to the line to shoot a pair. And Castillo, that's his third. So Castillo's got 3 on the first foul for Hanford in the second half. Castillo's got just 5 points. He's averaging almost 11 a game. Nightswangers with 7, and then 2 each from Dearman, Kramer, and Mosley for Hanford. Wicks, very short on the first of 2 foul shots. He has 4 points right now. Lynn provided 7 off of the bench in the starting lineup. Olson with 9, Carrillo with 8, 4 from Ramirez, Hendon with 5. And 2 foul shots missed. That is one of the Achilles heels let's say in the whole league. Up top for Shoup. He'll throw it low, left side. Samples keeps it and gets it back out to Neiswanger. Swing it around right side, Castillo. Bounce pass, Caulfield in the right corner. Steps out to the perimeter. 41-37 Hanford. No scoring yet either way. Left wing, Neiswanger open three. Back iron too hard and a foul. Caulfield went right through Hendon, who had the inside position to commit his second. The second team foul.
You know, right now, minute and 20 seconds into it, we've had 3 or 4 trips to the basket, a couple of missed free throws. I'm pretty happy with that so far, and we've had some good defensive stops.
A little bit of an energy lull from Hanford. They got to play against Pasco tomorrow night. Played Saturday at Walla Walla, lost there. Ramirez attacks left side, too hard. Neiswanger's got the rebound for Hanford. He'll slow up, hand it to Samples. The senior guard kicks it. Left corner, Caulfield spots up a three and hits it over the front iron. 15 points now for Caulfield. He's the leading scorer in the contest. He averages 14.5 per game. And the jumper makes it 44-37, 2 minutes into the third quarter. Wicks will drive down the right lane, fouled again. And to the 10 for Ben Wicks. Earns him 2 more foul shots. Samples committed his first foul. Third team foul on Hanford.
Now we got to step to the foul line and knock down some foul shots, Eric. And Ben Wicks takes his time to knock down that first one. That's what we need right now to get the lid off for us to start the second half with some good offense we've had and had some good defensive stops as well.
That makes it 7 of 12 from the foul line for Hermiston, and Wicks a 2-for-2 trip. He's got 8, 44-39, the Hanford advantage. Just over 2 minutes into the third quarter. Pressure shown again from Hermiston, kind of 3/4 court. Look at a trap. Hanford passes out of it. Right side, Shoup a three-pointer, front iron off. And Castillo crashes the rim. He's got the rebound back out to Caulfield, left wing. Bounce down onto the baseline for Walker. Turn around in the paint. Short. Rebound under the basket for Shoup. Shoup will kick it back out on top. Walker to Samples, and they'll reset. 5-point Hanford lead. Down onto the right baseline for Walker. He'll kick it out. Left side, Hermiston zoning now. And a three-pointer hit from Castillo and a timeout. 30-second variety for Paul Marin Hanford.
That's the kind of possession, Eric, that as a coach on the bench, after they get their third offensive rebound, they get it from a small guy that's standing around 4 white jerseys. You look over at your coaches and kids and say, they're going to score because it's karma. They deserve to put the ball in the basket after working that hard to get a few offensive rebounds, including in the middle of all of our zone. One kid gets a board. They deserve to put the ball in the hole. It's karma.
Yeah, like you said, it's not like Caulfield's the one getting the rebound. It's Mason Castillo, the 5'9" sophomore. He's one of the guys who doesn't actually tower over everybody out there. So Drew Priniger told us in the pregame. He's told the guys over and over again, they have to rebound better. They have to rebound more physically. And that includes when they are sitting in a zone. You still got to find a guy.
Right.
Olsen, Carrillo, Hendon, Wicks, and Ramirez. So no changes for Hermiston. 5:18 on the clock, third quarter. Trailing Hanford 47-39. Wicks has it up top. Got away with a double. Lobs it inside to Olsen on the right block. Head fake against Caulfield. Comes out, tipped out by Shoup on the Hermiston sideline. Into the hands of Ricardo Rodriguez. Played for Larry just a few years ago.
Has it only been a few years?
Like I said, it's 14 for me in 3 weeks. Carrillo down the left side. High off the glass. It bounces out and into the hands of Samples for Hanford. 4:50 left in the third quarter. 47-39. Into Walker. Walker slips it back out to Caulfield, left corner. His 3 balls off the iron into Hendon's hands for Hermiston. He'll give to Carrillo. Bulldogs down by 8. 4 minutes and 33 seconds left in the third quarter. Ramirez gives to Olsen in the right corner. Olsen kind of a quiet 9. Wicks at the foul line, fading to his left and rims out into the hands of Samples. For the Falcons, Samples brings it into the front court. Hanford looking to add to the 8-point lead. Left side, Caulfield 3, and they're back in front by double digits with the 4th three-pointer that Caulfield has hit tonight. He's got 18. 50-39. About the halfway point of the third quarter. Hand off to Carrillo at the top of the key. He'll come left and get it to Hendon. Hendon to Olsen, backdoor pass to Ramirez, right block, laid in +1. Late to get over there, Walker hip checked him down. Not intentionally, just was very late and couldn't really do anything about it other than foul Ramirez and give him a chance for a three-point play the old-fashioned way.
It was a great cut. It was, I think that's right there a product of doing a lot of breakdown drills in practice, knowing when that opportunity comes. It's called a read line cut. When you read your defender, and when he's over that three-point line, it's time for you to back cut and get to the rim and count on your teammate to make a good pass.
Rimmed out the foul shot, 50-41. 3:50 left in the third quarter. Hanford with the advantage. Left corner, Castillo hits the three-point shot. He's got 3 of those. The assist from Caulfield. He's got 18 points at a timeout for Hermiston. Drew Pruniger wants 30. With 3:41 left in the third, and the Hanford lead is 53-41. Bulldogs have gotten close, and they fall back in this game of runs. They haven't ever quite had what it takes to pull themselves all the way back into this one.
You know, it's a strange feeling right now where you come out of the locker room and you're real aggressive. You got lots of energy, and like you mentioned, that seems like Hanford's energy's down a little bit when they come out of the locker room. And we come out, and I think we miss 4 or 5 layups, miss a couple of free throws. We're being really aggressive, doing all the things right, and Hanford knocks down 4 or 5 open threes because, again, our defensive strategy at times is hope and knock down 4 or 5 open threes, give up some offensive rebounds for kick-out threes as well. And next thing you know, instead of being right in it because we should be rewarded for being aggressive, we're down 12.
3:33 left in the third quarter. Tyler Lynn's into the game. Hands off to Hendon. Right side for Ramirez. Ramirez circles into the paint. Kicks it left corner. Lynn for 3. Back iron off. The rebound poked by Shoop out of bounds on the far sideline. And Hanford's given the possession arrow. Ramirez walks 7 rows up into what should be the student section. 3:22 left in the third quarter. A return to some normalcy in a year would be nice. The students and, basketball in February and March, not when it's 103 degrees outside. Castillo into the right corner. Thrown inside. It's poked out of the hands of Walker. Hermiston. Ramirez forced to steal. Carrillo up court to Hendon. Spins to his left. Left block. Land rolls out. Lynn's got the rebound and kicks it back out. Ramirez drives, flips and hands off to Olsen and back up to Carrillo to reset. Kiki had 8 points in the first quarter, has not scored since then. And Olsen throws it out of bounds. Ramirez zigged when Olsen thought he was going to zag, and they're going to call a tip. And Paul Mayer is vocally frustrated for the first time tonight. I think that the 26th-year Hanford head coach has a pretty good case there.
I think he had a pretty good angle as well to see that. It looks like we just chucked one into the band.
So the Bulldogs will get the possession here. Down 12, 2:42 left in the third quarter. Caulfield and Walker will come out of the game. Left corner, 3-ball for Hendon. Off the back iron, double bounce on the rim and a rebound for Lynn because he's the one to jump last. Olsen to the 10, and he's called for a traveling violation.
Well, sometimes you wonder if
maybe we just made that one up there.
Yeah, well, all the Hanford kids are lining up at the foul line because they know better, but sometimes you wonder if officials are good enough to make up calls, and if that's the case, that was definitely one because that was a great move by Grant Olsen. That was not a travel.
Well, the particular official there, he is good enough to know.
Yeah, he does do a good job.
Left side, Castillo tees a 3-ball off the back iron, and Hendon skies for the rebound, gets it to Carrillo for Hermiston. Down 53-41 with 2:08 left in the third quarter. Carrillo will back up and slow things up at half court. Picked up his dribble, lobs it near side for Hendon. Whips it up top. Olsen coming to his right, hands off to Ramirez. Now get it to Lynn, back into the left corner. Hendon there, guarded by Shoop. Coming around and back between the rings. Carrillo coming around to pick from Olsen. Leaves it for Olsen, top of the key. Coming to his right. Poked out of his hands by Mosley. He'll hand off to Ramirez. Foul shot. Not a foul shot, but a hoisted heave and a shot clock violation. Not that it would have mattered. The shot from Ramirez was thrown over the top of everything. second shot clock violation for Hermiston in this game. Wide open, right corner, 3-ball for Kramer. Air ball. Out. And Paul Mayer frustrated. I believe that Cole Kramer could have taken it to the tin without anything bothering him. 90 seconds left in the third quarter. And it's still that 12-point lead. It's a game of runs, and then we've also had a few of these lulls where neither team can put the ball in the basket. Carrillo, that was a walk down the left side, floats it from 8 feet away. 53-43, 1:10 left in the third quarter. Into the lane, kick it out, right side, shoot for Trey, back iron into the hands of Lynn. Lynn will turn, take it up the court to the right side. Lobs it to Ramirez on the right wing. Skip pass, near side to Olsen. He'll drive down the left block, float it up. Glass and off the iron into the hands of Lynn. Back down to the baseline. Olsen there, blocked and fouled.
Really looking forward to the next couple of years with Grant Olsen, with his mindset, his aggressiveness, the way he sees the floor, because those, a year from now when he's 20 pounds heavier, that first one is going to be a great trip to the rim, let alone the second one after the offensive rebound.
So Olsen gets 2 foul shots, and the first one gets him into double digits. He and Carrillo each have a 10. Shoop's going to get a break with 48.9 seconds left in the third, and Andrew Dearman, the sophomore, will come into the game on the Columbia Orthodontics scoreboard. End of the third quarter. Now it is a 44-43 Hermiston lead at Hanford for the girls basketball team. 2-for-2 trip for Olsen. Ben Wicks comes back into the game for Grant. And Hermiston's down by 8. Mosley out to the left side for Dearman, the sophomore. Gives it up to Neiswanger. Back to Mosley. Mosley drives, kicks. Dearman left wing 3. Front iron off, poked high into the air to Castillo at the top of the key. Hanford another try. Mosley dumps it across traffic. Had an open shot to the lane and a push on Ramirez on the near sideline, fouling Castillo. Remember, they got some young guys too, because that was a wide open drive to the lane for Mosley, and he thought defense was coming, so he passed it across into traffic, but Hanford still got it with 23 seconds left in the third, and now the shot clock is off. 53-45. Hanford in front. Left swing for Castillo. Kick it onto the near side. Dearman back up top. Coming to his left. Mosley to the 10. That time the lay-in in traffic won't go. Rebounded by Hendon. Hendon to Carrillo. Carrillo's going to get up a half-court heave at the buzzer. And that's too hard, too long, too off to the right. And it brings us to the end of the third. Hanford 53, Hermiston 45. Do the Bulldogs have a comeback in them? When we come back in a minute on AM 1360 KOHU. Hermiston ball, trailing 53-45 as we start the fourth quarter. Grant Olsen, Kiki Carrillo, Tyler Lynn, Ben Wicks, and Garrett Hendon for the Bulldogs. Right side for Lynn, and up top to Carrillo. Wicks comes and sets a high pick. Carrillo coming to his left will take it all the way down, throw it over everything into the hands of Mosley for Hanford. He'll bring it up into the front court. Caulfield, who's got 18, into the game. No looks it to the right side. Samples there. Samples underneath for Neiswanger, whose turnaround is off and tipped into the hands of Carrillo for Hermiston. Bulldogs down by 8, half minute into the fourth period. Trying to end a 4-game skid, win their second of the year. Far sideline, Mosley, the sophomore, steps in front of a pass intended for Lynn. He'll take it across the court and lay it in, +1 A chance for a three-point play as Mosley's layup rolls around twice and then goes in. The foul is on Wicks. It is his second. It's only his second on Hermiston. Mosley to extend it back to 11, he does. He's got 5. 56-45. Falcons are trying to end a 3-game losing streak of their own. They just went through the ringer of Walla Walla, Chiawana, and Kennewick. Have Pasco tomorrow. Next Tuesday, go to Kamiakin. On the Columbia Orthodontic scoreboard, Kamiakin lost at Walla Walla last night, their first loss of the season. Hermiston, Lynn, bounce pass, down to the left block, and Hendon lays it in. Hendon's first bucket of the second half, he's got 7. 56-47. Bounce pass, right side, Niswanger. Niswanger finds some space, attacks the basket, and he stepped out of bounds on the right baseline. His palms go to the sky. Palmer's going to argue it. He got hip checked out of bounds. Playoff hockey. Right side, Lynn. Hands off, comes up top to Wicks, and now Hendon. Hendon just scored last time down for Hermiston. Creo's got 10. 8 of those came in the first quarter. Gives it to Olsen. Back to Hendon. Hendon will drive right baseline. Kick it back out. Lynn. Wide open left wing 3. And it banks off. Rolls around. Lynn gets it back out to Carrillo. Top of the key. 3 off. Rebound put back for Wicks. He tried to alley-oop it in, and it's out of bounds. Last touched by Ben. Jaden Ramirez will come in for Carrillo with 6:11 left in the fourth. Hermiston trailing 56-47.
Tough possession there. Garrett Hendon did a great job at catching the ball, setting his feet. Good ball fake, getting all the way to the rim. I think he passed up an open layup opportunity to kick out for a 3. But, you know, you tell your kids you want to penetrate to try to get your teammates open. He did a good job of that, but sure would have loved to come away with the 2 points there.
Castillo comes back into the game for Mosley, and he hits a left wing 3. Castillo's got 14. He's hit 4 3-pointers here tonight. 59-47. Caulfield's got 4 as well. An answer back 3 for Hendon on the left side. Garrett's got 10. 59-50. And a steal at half court by Olsen. Olsen gets it right back from Lynn, and he's fouled on the left block. On the ground is what they will say. It's the 6th-team foul on Hanford, so Bulldogs will get a baseline inbound coming on Deshaun Sample's second foul of the contest. Grant Olsen will inbound it with a basket to his left as he looks up. Lobs it to the top of the key. Ramirez catches there, and he's shoved by Samples. Put both hands into the stomach. It wasn't like it was a hard push or anything, but it's called for a third. I mean, it's definitely contact and unnecessary contact, and it's the 7th. So, to the line for a 1-and-1.
It was almost like he closed him out hard, and Jaden was in the air, and he maybe just didn't want to get underneath him a little bit, so he had to stop himself and put his hands on him, but definitely a lot more contact going on out there than that.
11 for 17, and the foul shot goes, so Ramirez earns another one at the line. 5:35 left in the fourth quarter. Missed the second. 59-51. Mosley's come back into the game. He'll give it right side. Shoop, who's had kind of a rough night for him, turns it over. Olsen's got it, and he walked across the timeline, switched his pivot foot. Eight-point game. Bulldogs need a little run. They need some love from the home rims. 5 3-pointers made tonight. Hanford's got 10 of them. Right side 3-pointer hoisted by Shoop. It's off iron and saved in by Olsen to Hendon. Give it to Ramirez. 5 minutes left. 59-51 for the visitors. Ramirez out on the right wing, gives to Olsen. Now into the left corner for Hendon. Hendon will drive and kick it across to the band on the right side, and a turnover. And that was really, I mean, wasn't a perfect pass from Hendon, but Lynn was moving out of the spot he was supposed to be in as Hendon drove down to the basket.
Yeah, it was difficult too because that baseline to baseline pass, you really don't want to be a bounce pass. It just takes way too long to get there as well.
Shoot misses a three-pointer. Wicks has got the rebound for Hermiston, gets it to Ramirez. Into the front court for the Bulldogs. The junior will drive all the way to the basket, and an offensive foul given. Niswanger was definitely still moving, but they're going to call Ramirez for the player control foul. Last weekend, that actually could have been on both of them at the same time.
A double foul, yeah, that was, I'll tell you what, in all my years, Eric, I've never, ever seen anything close to that.
Ball poked out of bounds far sideline by Lynn. Well, it happened with a minute 49 left in the fourth quarter. And I texted you after a couple of days later and said, hey, have you seen this yet? And I told you where the video was because, like, I also had never seen it before. And I haven't seen as much basketball as you, but I've seen a lot. Right side, shoot a three. Front iron off, and Wicks has got the rebound halfway through the fourth quarter.
In a lighthearted conversation with Chris Montelopoulos, the boys' officials commissioner, he's a great guy. He's been doing the game for a long, long time. And I did make a comment about it, and he goes, well, that's not possible. I said, I thought so too.
Lynn goes out to the right side, gives to Ramirez. Ramirez hounded, gives it to Olsen. A head fake, he'll drive it to the right elbow. Jumper too hard. It's off of Mosley's hands. Ramirez was in there as well. No, it's off of Mosley last. Hermiston will keep the possession. Well, and I watched it back a few different times, and I commended myself because when you were the head coach here, I also would have lost my mind on that play. Shot clock violation avoided by a long Ramirez three, but it's missed. Rebound and the kick out to Castillo, lays it in the other end. He's got 16. Castillo is well above his average for the season. 61-51 the lead. Three-pointer for Olsen at a timeout for Drew Pruniger. Olsen's got 14. And with 3:12 left in the fourth, it is a full timeout, 61-54. But there was also, like, it was just a matter of disbelief because it was Ben Wicks definitely committed an offensive foul. He ran straight over the top of the guy.
There was no question.
No question at all. But the young official on the far side called it a blocking foul. The near side official, who's definitely training throughout the night, called the player control. They came to talk together, and, like, if you listen to the broadcast, I'm like, well, they're going to make this a foul on Wicks. This is definitely going to be a foul on Ben, a player control, turn it over. And it was going to put us in a tough situation anyway. Then they come back and
originally it appeared that they were going to send Wicks to the foul line to shoot free throws after that. Because it looked like they were lining up at the foul lane.
It was double bonus.
Well, he was going to get called off, yeah, and they were going to let him shoot free throws. And then I saw him taking the ball out of bounds, and somebody signaled, hey, it's going to be a change in possession. And I realized, okay, we called this a double foul, which by the way, is not possible.
It's not. I talked to Drew about this, and he said his dad, Scott Pruniger's not here tonight, was sitting next to him, and he looked at him right as the whole thing started. He said, the worst thing that can happen here is they're going to go double foul and go to the possession arrow. Scott got it right. Hermiston forces a turnover, a scramble for the ball, and the Bulldogs are going to be called for
a kick.
Traveling or
no,
a kick?
It was a kick. Looked like Tyler Lynn reached out with his foot and struck the ball.
All right, 61-54. Drew Pruniger's got one timeout remaining, 33 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Bulldogs down by 7. Lob inside. Caulfield catches on the left block. Turnaround, lays it in. He's got 20. Not entirely sure why they're not doing that every time down. Olsen's got it up top. Caulfield guarding him now. Ramirez kicks it to the left wing. Hendon, head fake, and he'll come around to Wicks' pick. Now flips it to Wicks. Ben backs it back out to Olsen, working to the right side. Hendon on the right wing. And back up top to Wicks, coming around the perimeter. Hermiston continues. Lynn into the paint, and a foul on the arm. And so Tyler Lynn's going to go to the line for a 1-and-1 situation. As Riley Niswanger's called for the reach foul, his third. 8th team foul. Tyler's got 7 points. They all came in the second quarter. 2 for 3 from the foul line. And the front end of the 1-and-1. Bounces a couple of times off of the rim. Lynn ends up with the rebound, kicks it back out. Ramirez to Olsen. Olsen coming left down the lane, and he's fouled on his way to the 10 by Mosley.
That's an assertiveness we've been talking about. You could tell he got his shoulder down, and he was determined to get to the rim. You don't see that from a kid, it's 14 years old in a varsity basketball game. It's good to see.
I had Mosley with 4 now, but that's only his 3rd, so somebody else got a Mosley foul somewhere along the way. Grant misses the first of the 2 foul shots. He's 3 for 7 from the line, has 14, make it 15 points to lead Hermiston. 63-55, 2:12 left in the 4th quarter. Mosley driving right side around Wicks to the 10 and a righty lay-in. 7 points for Mosley, and back out to a 10-point lead for the Falcons with 2 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Ramirez to Lynn. Lynn slows up, dribbled off his own foot, but Olsen picks it up at half court and keeps it Hermiston's possession. Plenty of time in the shot clock still. Olsen driving baseline, a hand check foul. And it's on Caulfield, his 3rd, and the 10th team foul on the Falcons, and Paul Maier's going to come to half court because if I was the Hanford broadcaster, one of the things I'd be saying is we weren't calling any of these things for 3.5 quarters.
Correct. You're absolutely right. That is tough as a kid in the game to play the game when sometimes it's getting called, sometimes it's not. But in Grant's credit, that was an aggressive attack of the basket on a direct line drive, and he was definitely impeding his direct line drive. But you're right, there's way more contact than that in a lot of drives to the rim. What I really loved about that possession, though, is that Grant sees it's under 2 minutes, you're down 10 points, that we need to not reverse the ball 5 times before we try to get a trip to the rim.
He goes 1 of 2 at the line, so it's 65-56. Mosley across the timeline for Hanford. He'll drive straight down, step around Carrillo to the right and lay it in. Carrillo just set himself too early to draw the offensive foul. Mosley was able to see him and come around him. Mosley's got 7 in this quarter, 67-56, minute 25 left. Olsen on the right wing, gives it to Hendon. Hendon comes right, gets around everybody and has an open lay-in. Garrett's got 12, but it's got to come with a stop on this end. Mosley lobs it to Shoup over on the right wing. Shoup has got 11 points, has not scored in the second half. Gives to Mosley. Mosley's got 7 in the corner, and it's knocked out of his hands, out of bounds. Baseline inbound coming for Hanford. 1:02 left in the 4th. It's got to be a stop on this possession if Hermiston's going to have a chance for a comeback here. It's going to be hard either way. Hanford's got 10 on the shot clock with Shoup between the rings. Yo-yoing with his right hand. Guarded by Carrillo. Carrillo staying on him. Couldn't get the 5-second count. Mosley at the shot clock. Back iron off and an offensive rebound for Niswonger. He drives down to the left block. It is fouled.
And now with a fresh shot clock, we are 3 fouls from putting them into the bonus too. So this is going to run some time.
Yeah, Wicks the foul, his 3rd, but it's only the 4th team foul on Hermiston. 41.5 seconds left. Hermiston down by 9. Into Caulfield. Caulfield fakes a handoff. He'll drive left side and a hold off of the ball. Called on Carrillo. His first and the 5th team foul. 36.5 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Lob it up top. Shoup's got it there, and now Carrillo will foul him. 2nd on Kiki. That's 6. Bulldogs need 1 more. It's one of those things, if you were the most aggressive dog in the kennel here, you can maybe get a steal. The pass will be lazy. It's got to be foul quick. Even quicker than that, but Hendon's going to pick it up. His 2nd, 7th team. So Mosley has made the 1 foul shot he's taken. This Hanford team is a little better than 60% from the foul line on the season, 60.6%. Back iron off on the front end of the 1-and-1.
We got to score quick here.
Carrillo steps into a left wing 3. High arcing shot, back ironing off, and Shoup's got the rebound. Shoup fouled in the backcourt. Carrillo's now committed 3, 8th team foul, and so Shoup will come to the other end of the floor for a 1-and-1 opportunity. Shoup has missed the last 3. Hanford's lost 3 straight. He is a junior, and he is like many in the Mid-Columbia Conference, he's a standout baseball player, and was over in the Seattle area at some type of, as Paul Mayer said, some type of exposure event at Safeco. He's definitely interested in playing baseball for longer than just 4 more years, or 5 more years, I guess, where he's a junior. Maybe even jumping straight into the professional ranks, if that allows him. He can hoop as well. He made both of those. He's got 13 on what's a quiet night for him. 69-58, 15 seconds left. Carrillo coming right. He'll leave it for Olsen at the top of the key. Olsen to Ramirez, top of the key, 3-pointer. Rims around and out. Off of the ball, a foul, as Wicks got tied up with Neiswanger. And Wicks is going to get his 4th foul. 9 team fouls with 6.1 seconds left. 69-58 is the scoreline. So for the Bulldogs, it's Friday at Kamiakin, Saturday against Richland, and then on the 10th, hosting Kennewick. Bulldogs start to go into the Mid-Columbia Conference grinder here that Hanford just came out of. Hanford's got Pasco coming up tomorrow. And then actually next Tuesday, they'll go to Kamiakin. Missed the foul shot. Left side, Hendon airballs a 3-pointer, and that will bring us to the buzzer. 69-58, our final score. Hanford wins. They end their 3-game losing skid, and 4-5. Now Hermiston falls to 1-8. That's going to bring us to the Swim-Boaters post-game show, and we'll have that coming for you in 2 minutes here on AM 1360 KOHU.